Charly Black, aka Mr. Party Animal, recently sat down with the Jamaica star discussing his split with Universal, or more specifically, their sub-label called After Club, which is a Latin-based music label. Now, in the interview, he basically stated that he had signed an idiot deal. Now, this deal was signed back in 2017, right at the cusp of his huge single called Galia Party Animal, where apparently he had blown up hugely in the Latin market. According to the article posted by The Star, Charly went diamond in Latin America. Now, at first I was wondering why Charly would have signed to a Latin label. But given his success with Galia Party Animal, you would say, well, I guess it kind of makes sense. He wants to obviously grow as an artist, grow his market, grow his popularity, spread that music. Latin American market is a huge market. Obviously, it's not as big as the States, but it's big nonetheless. And if your single did well there, surely you can gain more traction. I'm guessing that was his thought process. So he said that he wanted the opportunity to work with a major label. After all, After Club is a sub-label of UMG, and UMG, which is Universal, is one of the three major labels in the world. And if you don't know, well, Drake is signed to UMG. So he signed this multi-album deal back in 2017. This was fresh off of his single, Galia Party Animal, which was released in 2016. But according to him, things basically went sour because, from my understanding, it seemed like him signed this deal, but over the years, he hasn't had a hit that reached the levels of Galia Party Animal. Now, from a label perspective, they might have looked at that as, okay, well, maybe he's just a one-hit wonder. Him can't reach the same height as he had reached before. Let's just put him on the back burner while we probably focus on other artists in our that's signed to our label, that's in our camp. So in the article, he questions that, wait, after 4 or 5 years, they can't get a hit out of Charly. They had a great album with him and didn't know what to do with it. Now, this album that he's referring to is his latest album called No Excuses, which was released February 24. It includes Sean Paul, Richie Spice, Techno, who is an Afrobeat artist. And funny enough, the song that he has with Sean Paul is called Gal Generals, which he recently did a music video to that he was promoting, or Sean Paul was promoting on his page on Instagram. It's a good track, by the way. Now, he has this album, No Excuses, but the label now push it. In fact, from his perspective, or probably what was happening in actuality, is that the label have him on the back burner, probably shelving it, saying, well, you're not marketable anymore. And from the label perspective, I would say that it's probably true, only because right now, in terms of music consumption, Latin music far outweighs dancehall. And that's a fact, right? And because of that now, think about it. He's on a Latin label where his counterparts on the label, for the most part, I believe, are Latin. And he's trying to push into, the Latin market, not really having a hit since Galia Party Animal. So it kind of makes sense why the label wouldn't have him as the forefront. And it also makes sense on his part to say, well, if things not working out, it's time for me to leave. And of course, they've cut ties. As I said, Latin music is bigger than dancehall right now because it's easy to compare. Look at Bad Bunny, who is a giant in his market, which is Latin music, compared to Popcorn, who is a giant in dancehall. Bad Bunny is selling out stadiums in America, while Popcorn's latest album, which is Great Is He, apparently sold in his first week, sold around 3,000 units. That's a big difference. And no, I'm not comparing Bad Bunny and Popcorn in terms of their artistry. What I am comparing is what music listeners are listening more to, what music listeners are following more, what music listeners are consuming more of. And it's clear they're consuming more of Latin music than dancehall. So yeah, back to Charly, he dropped this really good album. I've listened to it. I truly enjoy it. To me, it captures the essence of dancehall. The album again is called No Excuses. And the only thing that I can say about the album, which I didn't really like or prefer he would have left off, was that he has an acoustic version of Girl You a Party Animal on it. Now, to me, that's dragging it. That single came out 2016. We're in 2023 now. It's time to move on. Move on, cut ties with that song and, grow. Again, the album is really good. Take a listen. You tell me what you think. But other than that, we move.